welcome back to our channel. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Ken, and today we're here to review Child's Play 3. Child's Play 3, directed by Jack Bender. So, I'm excited to get into talking about this one. This is one of my personal favorites of the franchise. But before we get into talking about it, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We're trying to review all of the Chucky movies.
Yeah.
Up until at least Cult of Chucky. We may do the remake if we have time, but we're only, like 2 weeks away from Chucky Season 2 coming on?
Right, yeah, we're doing this leading up to Season 2 of the Chucky TV series. And so we thought it'd be fun to revisit all the Chucky, Child's Play, Chucky's, whatever you want to call them.
Child's Play, Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Bride of Chucky, bunch of Chuckies, and
So I'm not sure if we're gonna make it, but we're gonna try.
We're gonna try, and we've already watched Bride, so we'll be reviewing that very soon.
Yep.
But yeah, Child's Play 3 is what we're talking about. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and comment down below what your thoughts on Child's Play 3. It's a bit of a, I feel like it's a bit of a black sheep in the franchise. I feel like a lot of people talk trash about Child's Play 3, and I don't like that. No. I don't like the trash about Child's Play 3, but let's get into it. Yeah. I don't know when the last time you saw this movie was.
Oh gosh, I might have only seen this movie once. I don't know.
And was it with me that you watched it, or do you remember watching it when you were a kid?
I am not sure, but I'm going to say probably with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this movie came out because you remember watching Child's Play 2 when you were a kid, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that movie came out in 1990. This one came out 1 year later. They fast-tracked it. They're like, we need to get this into development. Came out 1 year after Child's Play 2. And they wanted to go in a different direction. They wanted Andy to be much older in this one.
Right.
So they did not recast Alex Vincent to come back as Andy. They got a new actor, Justin Whalen, who plays Andy in this one, and he's 16 years old,
right? And
he's off to military school right now.
Yeah, and I will say that even though they didn't use the same actor, I still feel like they picked someone who looked pretty much the same, and it was still believable. And
you didn't have an issue with the new actor? I always thought he did a good job of feeling like an aged up version of Alex Vincent.
Yeah,
so
I think so too.
No problem with that. But yeah, you got Chucky. He's back.
He's back.
They grab his little mutilated corpse from Child's Play 2. It's like, apparently they didn't bother cleaning it up.
Yeah,
after the second one.
If you watched our Child's Play 2 review, like I mentioned how much I loved the setting of Child's Play 2 as far as the toy factory came into play. So it was nice to just quickly see the toy factory in the beginning. It's covered in cobwebs, and it's
interesting. There's no like doll boxes laying around. Like it's like they went in and they cleared all the dolls out. They're like, we got to sell these, and then they just abandoned the factory.
Yeah,
shut down production.
Yeah, they, like you said, they just take the blob of what's left of Chucky and. You said that they just dropped it into a...
It's very it's very unrealistic. It's like you wouldn't just start a factory back up without like cleaning it up first.
Right.
But apparently all the machines just start going again, and it grabs the little blob and it drops it in another vat of like melted plastic.
Right.
And then you get the swirl, which is what's on my t-shirt right here, because I got a Child's Play 3 t-shirt on.
Okay,
you get the little swirl and then the title card, and then apparently things are back in business, and Chucky's back.
That's okay. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that that's like what your shirt design meant.
Yep. This is a Child's Play 3.
Because I forgot about like what happened in the beginning, so I don't know. I seem to forget quickly.
So it's pretty much the Good Guy Corporation. I guess that's what they're called. They're back up and running. The CEO's like, this is business. We got to get these Good Guy dolls back online. Nobody remembers the murders that happened in the previous films. That whole thing. So they're trying to get the good guys back in production, and Chucky kills him in the beginning of the movie. He finds out where Andy is. He just looks up his name on some internet database.
Chucky knows how to use the internet.
He's Chucky, and he can figure it out. And then he finds out he's at a military school.
Right.
So that's how he gets there and finds him.
Yeah. And then I feel like, isn't there something on the news or something that kind of alerts Andy that like basically Chucky might be back and is coming for him.
I actually don't remember that.
Yeah, I feel like there is because
You might be right. Maybe they show the newspaper clipping of the guy being murdered or something.
Yeah, I forget exactly what happened, but I just remember Andy kind of being like on alert and just like knowing that Chucky was going to come for him. Because, this is the third movie in, and he knows that Chucky somehow comes back.
Yeah,
and
he knows what's up.
I feel like he was definitely like bracing himself for it. And there is the scene in the movie where that I think it was like the older man who ends up having a heart attack.
Yeah, that's like the drill instructor.
Yeah, he's like,
I don't know what the rankings and stuff are.
He's carrying the Chucky doll, like just lugging it around or whatever, and Andy sees it from a distance. He's like out on the field doing a drill or something.
Yeah, because Tyler's the first one that finds him. Because the
little boy.
Yeah, because he mails himself to that military school.
Right.
And Tyler opens it up and finds him.
Yeah.
And then Chucky attaches himself to Tyler and wants to get in his body instead of Andy this movie.
Right. So I definitely felt like Andy was prepared.
One thing though that I remember that it makes sense to me now that it never made sense to me as a kid, I was like, so how is Chucky able to switch like who he wants to get in the body of? Like he was supposed to get in the body of the first person that he revealed himself to, which was Andy. So I was always confused as a kid. So how could he go to Tyler? But it makes sense because it's a new Chucky body. It's not the same Chucky body. So he was recreated with the essence of his soul in a new body. So now I guess the first person he reveals himself to in this body, which was Tyler, now he can jump into that body. So he's trying to get into Tyler in this movie and not Andy.
Right. Yeah, I am not sure if I caught on to that either.
Yeah, it was just something that I always remember having a problem with when I was a kid. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But yeah, I really enjoy this movie. I think it's really underrated. It kind of I know you haven't seen Full Metal Jacket, but it reminds me of like Full Metal Jacket in the Child's Play universe.
Gotcha.
Even down to that line, they're out there doing like drills and stuff, and the one guy saying, "This is my rifle, this is my gun.
Oh yeah.
This is for shooting, and this is for fun." Like they say that line in Full Metal Jacket.
Gotcha. Is that just like a military thing though, or is it like the show? Or the movie?
I don't know if they don't do that. This is for fun part in Full Metal Jacket, but they do that. This is my. So yeah, it might be like a thing in military school and stuff.
I just wonder if it was a callback to the movie.
Yeah, I think they were absolutely drawing some inspiration from Full Metal Jacket there.
Gotcha.
But I think this movie has some good kills. I think that the barbershop kill where he slits his neck is pretty cool.
Right.
I always thought that image was scary when they kind of pan out and Tyler runs in and finds him. Or not, it's not Tyler that runs in. It's the nerdy kid with the glasses. He comes down there to find him, and Chucky's just kind of standing there with a knife, and you can tell he's like alive. I just think it
was like the like shaving blade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that guy. Speaking of the barber, like he was such a weirdo. Yeah. Like he was the one that gave all the kids their haircuts, and obviously in military school they're very strict, and so he would just
I'll see you on Tuesday.
Right. He would just like go around to all the kids and be like, "You're overdue for your haircut, I'll see you this and that." But then there were some kids who like had long hair, and I'm just like,
I was like, you're not doing your job correctly.
Right.
Like, how are you letting this get past? You're so strict, but yeah.
I thought like everybody had to have like a shortcut like
Yeah.
And like there were some kids who didn't. So anyway, but
yeah. And so I think like how you explain that is I think he just has his favorites that he likes to torment.
Right.
And maybe he doesn't spend as much time on them and lets their hair grow. But when he sees it, he's like, I got to get that cut.
Yeah. And so
it's an interesting character trait.
Talking about that, it was kind of a cool scene because the barber finds the Chucky doll and he's like, ooh, like I want to give the Chucky doll a haircut.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so that was
a fun scene.
Yeah, that was kind of fun because you're like, okay, I know where this is going. I know what's going to happen. So
another kill I want to call out, and this always messed me up as a kid too, is the trash compactor.
Yeah.
The guy that gets stuck in there, and it's so like terrifying when you put yourself in those shoes just to be in that trash, and he's trying to get out, but he can't because he's stuck in the trash, which is basically like quicksand. You just can't get out of it.
Chucky gets stuck in there, and so he starts like calling out for help, and so the trash guy like freaks out, and he's like, oh my gosh, he thinks it's like a kid in there or something. So he jumps in there, and Chucky screws him over.
Yep, always messed me up as a kid.
Yeah.
The heart attack one is kind of silly, but it's also kind of fun.
Now, is that the first time that someone's had a heart attack because of Chucky?
I think that he kills somebody by heart attack later on in the franchise too.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, if you know from seeing previews for season 2 of the Chucky series, they're definitely doing some like callbacks to like some of the like original kills, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I was just wondering, like.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to Child's Play or Chucky season 2, because they're doing a new setting, and that's kind of. They've done that before with Child's Play with the military school, so I like that they're trying to do different locations and stuff.
Right, yeah. I think it definitely keeps it interesting. So
keeps it interesting. But yeah, the heart attack is fun. He's got a lot of good one-liners in this movie, because he's like, "You gotta be effing kidding me" when the guy has a heart attack.
Right.
He's like, I like Chucky in this. I feel like he's kind of coming into his own as the character. And,
right, like he's definitely like. I feel like he's slowly evolved into the more like comedic. So like going back through and watching all of these, definitely after we watched Bride of Chucky, which like you said, we're going to review next. You kind of see how he's slowly evolved into the comedic Chucky.
Yep.
And so I feel like, I don't know if you do, but I feel like I have like less of a problem with it now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is an evolution. Like, it's not a hard turn.
Right,
or anything.
yeah. So I feel like that makes it better and, just not as, I don't know, it doesn't bother me, I guess.
Yeah. Then there's the infamous Chucky's going to be a bro line. Where he's referencing, because Tyler, the kid, is black. So he's like, Chucky's going to be a bro now.
Yeah, so little racist, maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't know.
I don't think it's too bad.
You don't think so? Yeah.
But yeah, it's there's a couple other ones he has in here that I can't think of off the top of my head. That's pretty good. But let's get into the set piece of this movie and the thing that I've always loved. You have the doll factory set piece at the end of Child's Play 2. Right. Another thing that I love about this franchise, it always like tries to have these like cool set pieces at the end.
Yeah.
And this one has the carnival haunted house roller coaster, scene at the end, which I always thought was super awesome. When I was a kid. You can tell they're kind of trying to, I don't know if they're trying to outdo the doll factory, but they're trying to do something similar. So you do kind of have that problem where this is cool, but it's not as cool as the doll factory. Yeah. But it's still pretty awesome. I like it. You have the big Grim Reaper up there with the synth and cuts off half of Chucky's face. And that leads into his death. They throw him into a big fan and he gets chopped up and that leads into Bride of Chucky and everything. So
yeah.
I don't know. What do you think of this movie overall? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I don't feel like you liked it that much.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am not on the same page as you. I don't feel like this is underrated. I feel like it's probably rightfully rated.
And people don't like this. Like, they put this like near the bottom of like their Chucky rankings.
I don't know. Like, it's not terrible. I'm not going to say it's terrible, but I definitely feel like it's lacking something, missing something. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't work as well for me for some reason. And I don't know if I can quite figure out why. But yeah, it's definitely not up there for me.
Yeah. It is a bit of a different feel, but for me, this is the last time that Chucky really felt like that classic Chucky. Like, it is kind of a cross between this and the movie we're getting ready to talk about, but it still felt like it retained that like classic Child's Play feel. So
yeah,
I always have nostalgia for it. But what would you give it for a score?
What would I give it for a score? I'd probably give it a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5? That's pretty good.
Yeah. Like I said, not terrible. I just, didn't.
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed the movie. I still give it a 3.5 out of 5. So, now I will say the score in this movie, they don't bring in any of like the classic like Chucky themes or anything from the first one and the second one. So the score is pretty lame to me in this movie as far as like the music. But that's really the only like real negative I have with it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, 3.5 out of 5. It's a pretty good Child's Play movie. I think it's pretty good. I think people sleep on it too much. But that is our review of Child's Play 3. We gave you our thoughts on it. We're going to be talking about Bride of Chucky really soon, so look out for that. And
onward we go.
Onward we go into the depths of Seed of Chucky. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
We finally get to it. But subscribe, like, Comment down below your thoughts on Child's Play 3. Turn on the bell notifications. Follow us on our social media account down below. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.